Move on to the topics here. Ergonomics and workplace. I think like you must have already attended many classes like this, right? Like previously, like you must be familiar with all things here. Anyway, like we'll just go through the topics. First of all, that is the definition of ergonomics, like scientific, the boring one. So it says that scientific discipline concerned with understanding of interactions among human and other elements of the system, and the profession that applies theory, principles, methods and data to design in order to optimize human well-being and overall system performance. Actually, that's a very complicated definition and it's very hard to understand. So, what does that mean? So, it means that ergonomics, actually ergonomics it's of two words, ergon and nomics. It's a Greek word, ergonomics, like ergon means work and nomic means natural laws. So in simple words, you can say it's a study of human interaction with any system. Like if you're working with your laptop, so it's just an interaction, like how you interact with the system. That study is called ergonomics. So why do a study like that? So that you can work better, you can have less injuries and less body aches actually. Like do you any of you suffer from any aches in the body, like pain, back pain? How many actually? How many? 1, 2, 3, 4. So many people. Okay, so next. So familiar with this one, like Simpsons? Actually, that's a very famous cartoon character. His name is called Mr. Simpson. So he has made himself very comfortable with all the arrangements in his workplace. He has kept the laptop, the table, everything very close to him, so that you don't have to strain much. So everything is within reach of it, so that you don't get any issues in his body. Actually, it's a very good example like how you should be set in your workplace. It says, help to adapt the job to the people who perform them. So you don't have to adapt to your jobs, like actually the jobs can adapt to you. So that's actually the main idea of ergonomics. So the next slide. It's a common employee work position. So which one is your position? First one, second? Second one, yeah. That's the most common question. And third one, I don't know, like you probably have this first and second one. And if you do the first one there, that's actually by the books, like you can say. By the books you can say like that and nobody actually follows that. But if you're doing that, like you will be having less body aches and less problems, of course. Okay, so how can ergonomics help you? Okay? Will it help you work right? Actually, to do your work right or prevent work-related injuries. See, I'm a sports physical therapist. Like I work for the football team. So in my field, like when I work in my ground, like I get a lot of injuries. Everybody falls there. Okay, I get a lot of injuries. But in the workplace, do you get injuries? You get injuries in the workplace actually. So that is Mr. Ray. Okay, actually. Unlike this, like you get a lot of injuries in your workplace. If you are doing bad ergonomic, okay, a lot of bad ergonomics. If you are sitting bad, then you get all these things. So these are the main thing what you get, like if you are using a bad seating procedure, like if you are setting like your table in a very awkward way, you get all these things. Like it's called musculoskeletal disorder. Musculoskeletal disorder. So musculo means your muscle and your skeleton there. Skeleton. So any disorders you get, like it's called musculoskeletal disorders. So a few people they said that they had a few pains there. So actually you might be suffering from any of these kind of symptoms. So discomfort, pain, numbness, loss of motion, flexibility, spasticity, stiff joint, burning, swelling, tingling, inflammation, thrombing and paralysis. It's actually self-explanatory except for this one, spasticity. You don't understand. Okay, it's fine. So do you know what spasticity is? What is spasticity? Okay. Spasticity actually is kind of a tightness. Like for example, you are using your mouse there. You are using your mouse there. You are working for long hours. Your team leader has given you a lot of work, okay, and you are trying to finish it. So then now straight in the system, you are doing that. So after a while, you notice that your hand failed to be in the position there. Whenever you try to do that, it's going back like that. Okay. So we can say that you have a spasticity. When you try to do that, it comes like a sprain. So that is spasticity. It's a rare condition. Like I don't think like anyone has that. Like severely, like if you're using your work area like without much management, you might try to get it in the future. So in the next slide, we'll just see what are the few musculoskeletal injuries like associated that you can get like if you are into bad ergonomics. Carpal tunnel syndrome, sciatica, rotator cuff injury, back strain, tennis elbow, herniated disc, trigger finger, bursitis, neck strain, thoracic outlet syndrome. Familiar with any of this? Any of this? Tennis elbow. Okay. Have you heard of like tennis elbow? Yeah. It's common, right? Tennis elbow, disc problem, maybe back strain, neck strain. Those are the common ones. Okay. And the uncommon ones are this one, trigger finger. Again, spasticity. Okay. Your fingers will be in this position. Even if you try to extend it, it won't extend. It will come back like a spring. Carpal tunnel syndrome. I'll just explain what those are. Like if you are using your mouse for a long time, especially you are not using a padding, like you have a pad there, you have a mouse pad and you also have a padding there. So that you will be comfortable using a mouse. Just in case you are not using a mouse and this is the edge of the table there. You are placing your hand there in the edge of the table like that and you are walking for some time. So what happens is like here in this wrist area you get local bruising. Minor bruising you get and you get some inflammation there, swelling there. And this is a very constricted area here. So you have a lot of wires, we have a lot of nerves, vessels, everything going to this area. Tendons. So it's a very constricted area. And this inflammation, it pushes it inside your hand. And those structures will be active, like nerves, everything. So your hand ultimately won't function. It's like you will get loss of sensation, a lot of issues. So better avoid all these things. Try to use a pad there whenever you a mouse pad as well as a pad. Do you have pads? How is your work area? Is it well set? Well set. Everything is well set. Tables, right? But still you have table. Okay. Sciatica again. It's like sciatica, radiating pain. You get a lot of pain in the leg. Like anyone have pain in the leg coming down? Okay. Okay. So that's a quite boring thing. I'll just move on to the next one. Okay. So are you at risk? Are you at risk of having musculoskeletal diseases like any of this? See, the risk factors depend upon your posture and how often your task is performed, the level of effort required for the and the duration of the task. Again, the previous picture there. How you walk. If you start walking like this or this, you might end up getting any of that previous conditions. And that's actually the real posture, how you should be seen, the ideal posture. Everything is aligned there, eye level. Okay, we'll talk about that there. So, if you are doing that, you might get carpal tunnel syndrome. Okay, next one. So again, one of the risk factors there. So if you observe this gentleman there, so he is using his laptop in a very awkward position. I don't think anyone uses the laptop for work area like that. That's too much awkward there. So what I try to tell you is that, like, say this is the ideal posture there. Ideal posture. It says 0 degrees there. 0 degrees of flexion and there is nothing. That's the amount of force like your neck experience. You're bending forward like that. So the your like the behind your the base of your neck experience a force. Okay, so in that is nil there. Here you are doing a 15-degree flexion there. So you get around 10 kg force there. So as you bend forward, the amount of force exerted in the neck there increases. If you are doing it like you're in that position for 15-20 minutes, then sure you will get some sort of neck pain. So the people who actually said that they have some neck issues, maybe you have a lot of workload, maybe you are bending forward unknowingly. That's why you might be getting. Okay. Is it getting going? So how can you prevent it? Like the correct work posture. So this is an example of the correct work posture. The typical one, you will be having postures everywhere, right? In your work session here, like everyone, you will be having this posture. So I'll just explain again once again. So the area, the first and foremost, like your area should be well lit. There should be a lot of lighting in your area, so that you can see everything. So there's no strain in your eyes. Second one, the monitor. Like just like the monitors like in the eye level. The top of the screen, there, it should be in line with your eye level there. Secondly, you need to have a document holder or a second screen so that you can just see, you don't have to look down at it all the time. Then there's a back support there which is adjustable so that she always get a lumbar support there. And And see the elbow there. Elbow is making a right angle there. And it's in the level with the keyboard there. So that you don't have to move the hand forward and back. Chair is adjustable height, 90 degrees there, 90 there and 90 there. And even a foot rest. So that will help her walk without any much of MSTs. Second one, the lifting technique. Lifting technique. You don't have to lift a lot of things here. Actually, you'll be basically doing all that things. But just in case you have to do something like this, like always try to do it right, like this. Like that you have to do. Never bend like this. Even if you're taking your like younger brother or anything like, don't lift like that. You just always use. You can do that. You can do that. You can do that. Keep your spine straight all the time. So that will prevent a lot of issues. Again, work area modification. How you can modify your work area? Like how is your work desk there? Like how is it like? How is your desk? Like how do you arrange this? Your keyboard, your mouse, things. How do you keep it like? On the left side, right side, anything like that? In the front of your desk. You just keep it like that. Okay. Any special arrangements like left side, right side, mouse on the right side, on the right hand. The mouse and the keyboard on your left side of the board, nothing like that. Okay, so in this what they say is that if you try to keep the things which you access primarily, that is your keyboard, your mouse, the main things like you take your notes and everything, you keep it on the left side there. So that's your primary access area on this side. So you can keep all the things there. So it's very easy. You type, okay, and the things which you use secondarily, the most like your mobile phones, things like that, you can keep it on this side. So that, and then comes the tertiary work area, the things which you don't use, that you can keep it there. So everything is very ergonomically placed. And again, you can use some assistive devices like this thing, like the keyboard there, which is made in a convenient way so that you don't get any strain. Take it in back, keyboards, hand press, paddings, things.